Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Last time on Travelers on the Omnibus.
Wait, where'd the kendo stick go?
And now the thrilling conclusion.
Oh, it was Jason and Michael. They had it the whole time.
And welcome back to Travelers on the Omnibus, a road trip through nerd and pop culture. I am your host. I am Ethan.
You've already fucked up. Did I? Yes, the tagline is a field trip through nerd and pop culture. How many times have you done this?
Not enough, apparently.
Where'd that kendo stick at?
Jesus.
We've only done 25 episodes.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm James McCarthy.
And nobody could hear Ethan's side of that conversation because
Yes,
he's
this is true.
behind the microphone.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's how this works.
Yeah.
I'm Jody Kite.
I'm Aaron.
There's one other.
Hi,
guy
Aaron.
The other guest needs to speak.
Yeah.
I'm Michael from Whiskey and Wrestling.
I'm Jason from Whiskey and Wrestling.
Hello, guests. Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us once again. I feel like
I love how Ethan is just trying to pull some kind of energy out of everybody, and we are just not fucking having it.
We were glad to be invited.
Yeah.
yes.
Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, you were totally invited. You were never not invited. I don't know where you got that lie from. Brady, why did you lie to them?
I just never left since the last time I was
That is
on.
very true. We put him in the corner. So we
Aaron
know he's
lives
not
here.
baby. There you go.
Let's just go into what we've been doing. Brady, what have you been doing?
Thank you for that, Ethan. We got a lot of people in the studio, so Inside Baseball, we're having to share a lot of mics. I've been doing, the one thing that I've been doing is probably something, in fact, I know it's something that several of the other people here have been doing. I watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It is an anime that's on Netflix now, based in the Cyberpunk universe, which is RPG back in the day, and it's kind of come back and is also their Cyberpunk 2077 in the same world. It's pretty good. It's really, really good. Really enjoy. The world is very frenetic, but it's great. I love the characters.
It's very cyberpunk.
It is incredibly cyberpunk. It is an anime, but it leans more on cyberpunk tropes than it does on anime tropes.
Studio Trigger did it, and they did a phenomenal job.
That was the best animation house to give them that.
Yes,
10 out of 10.
It is frenetic is the word that I would use.
I hope we get another season with. Well, I can't say because
I hope we get another season.
That's all I'm going to leave it.
Nice. It is prepare yourself because it is a bittersweet ending, which I guess
it is very cyberpunk.
Falls in line with cyberpunk. Like you should expect that, I guess. But it's very, very good. I would say check it out. It goes by really fast.
It's very violent, very visceral,
incredibly violent,
gory,
yeah,
depressing.
Very dig. Yeah, the ending is kind of depressing.
Tits.
There are tits.
No.
So it's cyberpunk.
It's very cyberpunk.
Very cyberpunk. Like I said, it's an anime, but it's way more cyberpunk than it is anime. So, I also finished the Sandman Book of Dreams. It's really good. If anybody ever has a chance to read those short stories, they're all pretty good. I think the best one is one called Splatter, which takes place during the serial convention of the collectors. It's very creepy. I would strongly recommend that. That's pretty much me.
Let's go with you, Jay.
Also, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I'm 8 episodes out of 10, but I knew how it ended because I played the video game, and I played a very particular detail to the Afterlife bar. You'll know more about that if you watch the series. Go watch the series. Finished the modern day scenario in Live Alive. Setup-wise, that's probably my favorite one so far as what it is. Live Alive has done a very good job of troping like tropes. And this one is troping fighting games, and I thought it was absolutely exceptional. So shaping up to be my video game of the year right now. So yeah, very much so. That's literally what I've been doing other than work, and I don't want to talk about work. Please don't make me.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Absolutely.
I know your struggles.
Yes.
Jason, have you been, man?
Pretty good. I've been playing and getting prepared for Warcraft Classic, The Wrath of the Lich King.
I've seen trailers for that.
I mean that that was the one that pretty much hit 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
That and I've been breaking into cars and stealing watches.
Interesting you say that.
You know.
Huh. I wonder if that's going to come up later.
We've got 4 more people to get to before we figure out the end of that one.
Michael, how have you been, bud?
I've been great. Just kind of hanging out, planning my wedding, and playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. I finally took the wrapping off of it and put it into the PlayStation. And I'm
You old man in your physical media.
Yes, because physical media is the way
Shut
to
the
go.
fuck
It
up.
is.
Physical media is great.
No, I agree. That was just a joke.
So it's actually, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So
That's good to hear. Nice to know you're also not stealing watches from people.
I didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well,
This is going to slowly become a lineup.
Aaron, what have you been doing?
Pretty much the same as last time. Trying to survive, getting my lashing down pack. Watching House of the Dragon. I'm really enjoying it. Really, really good. Reading a book. A friend of mine wrote a horror-themed book several years back. If you get a chance to, I'm going to plug someone.
Go
Jay.
for it, man. We're all
The name
about
of the
it.
book is A Last Stand on Zombie Island by Chris Eager. It's based out of Gulf Shores. Very good. Every year I read it around Halloween time. And I've been fencing stolen watches, so that's pretty much what I've been doing.
All right, I'll mark that down as suspect
Hey,
3.
hey, don't tell Aaron how the book ends. How many fish get blue stars? How many fish get red stars? You know.
How many stars are on the star belly sneeches?
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
Self-explanatory.
You just got Soused.
Jody, what have you been up to?
So I decided I had prolonged it long enough and decided to watch Thor, Love and Thunder, and that was all right. To me, it was a little mediocre, but you know,
Much on comedy.
there was a lot of comedy in there. Even when you're dying of cancer, you can pop a joke in there.
I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I really like the movie.
I liked it. Like I said, it's in the middle for me just because Ragnarok was so over the top and good, and I enjoyed it a lot. The spoiler: the Guardians are in the movie for like 30 seconds at the beginning, and it's like an afterthought almost. And I liked the arc of the female Thor character played by Natalie Portman. I can't remember her name now because my brain shut off.
Jane
Foster.
Jane Foster. I liked that arc. I thought that was as tastefully done as they could do it. And then I liked the performance of again, my brain shut off. The
Gore the God Butcher.
yeah, played by
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale. I thought he was phenomenal. I found the Russell Crowe portrayal of Zeus very hilarious.
That was funny.
But yeah, that was all right. And also I watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I don't know if you've heard of that show.
Oh yeah, that's on Netflix.
That's
right?
on
Okay,
Netflix.
okay, cool.
And actually, I enjoyed it so much, I'm probably going to go back and watch it again at some point. I really enjoyed it. That's my jam. Not just anime of a high caliber, but also just anything well written, good dialogue, and over the top violent. So that was enjoyable.
Seeing how 3 of y'all have been saying good things about it, I might do that for this upcoming week. For myself, life had just given me a slice of a humble pie. I was trying to experiment with a lot of cooking today, and for some unknown reason, I could not remember how to cook rice. And I see the looks you guys are giving me.
Hold on.
How the fuck do you not know how to cook right?
Hey. I tried.
Let me make that more concise. What?
Yeah. I tried to actually. I tried washing the rice.
What?
Hey.
What?
I see the look you're giving me.
You know, I said it last time I was here, but fuck you, Ethan.
And Ethan wasn't here the last time. This is the first time you've ever met.
Yeah.
There you go.
But other than that midlife crisis,
Hold on.
Fuck you, Ethan. Fuck you.
You are surrounded by 6 men older than you.
Wait. He may have a point here. If he's talking about a midlife crisis and being surrounded by all of us, there's a good chance one of us will kill him at some point.
That is true.
I just need to know, did you figure out how to fucking
Or
cook
look at
rice?
we might.
Jason,
We
get
don't
the
have too
kendo
many
stick.
years on us. Some of us.
Yeah, we have the kendo. They have the kendo.
I
stick
eventually
back, excuse me.
did remember how to cook rice. Okay, I
You
eventually
put it in
did.
water and boil it.
Yes.
3 cups of water, or 4 cups of water, 3 cups of rice, bring it to a boil, simmer, cover it, 25 minutes. It's that easy.
Well, for some god unknown reason, I cannot remember how to do that.
Look, I got something that can help you out with
Motherfucker,
this.
you are Gen Z. You have the internet. You were born with it. You were bred into it. We merely adapted it later in life. How could you not go, hey, Siri, how do I cook rice?
Well, on that
I just put it in fucking water.
on that end holder, I've got a watch I can sell you that'll help you keep time.
Huh, really? Huh. Interesting, because, I had my watch stolen literally today.
What?
The wasps did it.
I didn't. Oh my God! The wasp stole your
Those
phone.
fuckers, I'm going to kill them.
You should have done that already.
But yeah,
Brady, did you just play some Ethan Bingo just now?
I was trying to remember how it was worded on there.
Okay.
So everybody mark down your bad luck Ethan stories.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's very important.
literally all of today is just nothing but bad luck. So yeah, I'm coming up to the shop, getting ready to record, and I realize, hey, my watch isn't in my locked car. I called my girlfriend. She says she hasn't taken it out. And apparently, both of my vehicles got rummaged through.
Why is your watch stored in your car?
Reason... I keep it in there after work because I could charge it, and I just forgot to bring it in yesterday. That's it. But apparently, it's also happened to one of my neighbors who I just got a notification from literally a minute ago. So I'm not the only one that got hit.
I love, Michael, how he told us this story earlier and nobody said anything, and you decided to save that juicy tidbit for the podcast. I appreciate that.
Yes. That's 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100.
You got to know.
That's why you're the best podcast that records in this room.
You got to do it for the content.
Absolutely.
So other than that, my entire life is a joke. That's pretty much it.
Motherfucker, we know that shit already.
Hey, I just want it known that none of us said that.
Yep.
No, I frequently admit it.
Note to the passengers: please don't steal watches out of people's cars or anywhere for that matter. That is a crime.
Or anything else
just
for that
don't
matter.
And it makes
steal.
you, just don't steal, but specifically not watches. How are we going to know what time it is? Seriously.
Yeah.
We have a phone for that, Jay.
Hey,
Yeah.
you could make the tie-in as a spoiler. If you stole a watch, it would be crime time.
Oh, Ethan, explain what we're doing tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the every other fifth episode. It's time for a chalkboard.
What?
It makes sense to me. Don't worry about it.
What the fuck did you just say?
Every other fifth episode.
This bus has no wheels, does it?
We've been working on a hover program, and it's kind of crashed into the rocks. Don't worry.
Every
Don't
5
worry.
episodes, we have a list.
That hurt my brain, Ethan. I'm not gonna lie, man.
A
What do we-
chalkboard, if you will.
Yes, there you go.
It's our chalkboard, everyone.
It's our 25th anniversary episode.
It's our silver anniversary. What did you guys get us? I know you guys got me a Violence via Kendo stick. I appreciated that.
So
It's just what we always wanted.
Okay, there you go. Exactly.
we have our guest from Whiskey and Wrestling. We have Aaron. All of us love wrestling.
From the Paranormal Gumbo podcast that we want one day to return.
Hopefully soon.
Spicy.
We are talking about our top 5 wrestlers. From the last top 5, Brady was given the silver bullet, so now it is his responsibility to give it to one of us during this episode. So right now, let's go around the table and give it to people. Brady, you go first.
Hold on. Let us say you're menacing the kendo stick. First of all, I live in pain, so it doesn't that's not gonna really do much. Second of all, the silver bullet has to be passed on, so it has to be one of the people who's actually going to be here the next time.
It has to be a traveler.
It has to be a traveler.
Yes.
So those are the rules. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't make the rules.
He's smacking it at that height, not to tell you that he's going to hit you with it, but how far deep it's going in.
As Wrestling Tonight showed us, the rules don't matter.
Yeah.
No, they fucking
They never
don't.
did, apparently.
Okay, so my list, the top 3 was really easy. The bottom 2 I had to really think about. Mine's gonna be biased towards a particular era mostly WWE, the Attitude Era. This is when I grew up. This is formative era in wrestling. So I'm not really gonna have any new people. I feel bad because I'm also not gonna have any women wrestlers on here. I wanted to shout that out because I do feel bad about that. I think that says a lot about how women have been used in wrestling. It's getting a little bit better, but especially in places like AEW, that's still not there. I'm not going to have any recent wrestlers. So, number 5, it's the game Triple H. Yeah. We want to play a game Triple H. Dude, politic like a motherfucker, but he was also a really good wrestler and really fun. Number 4 is Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mick Foley. Three wrestlers for the price of one. Well, two and a quarter. Let's say
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dude, love was iffy. Number 3 is the Dead Man, the Undertaker. Who I'm sure might be on somebody else's. Shawn Michaels. He kind of had a resurgence that he has 2 eras really.
30 years.
30 years. 30 years.
That should be enough to say it right there.
And for the most part, one gimmick. With some road bumps.
Big Evil was a thing, sir.
Yeah. He took Big Show out into the desert with rattlesnakes. Whatever the fuck that promo is.
He rode a motorcycle for 5 years, man. Come on.
Number 2, I can smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock has for a very long time been my favorite wrestler. He's my favorite wrestler out of the actual WWE Attitude Era. One of the most charismatic people ever, especially in wrestling. And number 1 is the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah, the cream rises to the top. Absolutely, great as a heel, great as a face.
I mean, he fought Spider-Man. Come on.
Yeah, he did fight Spider-Man.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I got you for 3 minutes.
Cream
rises to the top. Yeah, we all want to slap into a Slim Jim. But yeah, he was a great face, great heel.
Did he say slap into a sentence?
I think I've tried to say snap. I might have had a minor stroke. Who the fuck knows? But that's my 5. All right.
If you're playing Brady Bingo, look up the stroking one, and then you got that one right now.
Jay, go ahead and give yours.
My number 5 is the wrestler of the 80s boom period is going to be Hulk Hogan at number 5. At number 4, in my opinion, the most timeless wrestler on my list, it is going to be Harley Race. If you like Triple H, he was Harley Race inspired him. Do you like all of Ric Flair's, all of his titles? Harley Race inspired that as far as that run goes. A lot of what you like in modern day wrestling, especially if you're a purist of the sport, a lot of it runs through Harley Race. Number 3, the Babe Ruth of the WWE, John Cena, taking what could have been at any point, he could have gone heel and still use that as a face to still generate a tremendous reaction from a crowd. The last big reactions that I remember consistently for a wrestler of his ilk, John Cena. My number 2, Man of Three Faces, Mick Foley, Dude Love, Mankind. And of course, the greatest Cactus Jack. Sold his body away to entertain the fans, gave his heart in some of the greatest promos that have ever been put to tape. Watch the ECW and the anti-ECW, anti-hardcore promos. In my opinion, they are still the best of all time. My number 1, it is the God of the Attitude Era. He's the man that makes the Attitude Era good because if you look back on it, there was a lot of bullshit, but it is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Absolutely the number one draw of his time, maybe perhaps the number 1 draw of all time. The working man, the anti-corporate hero, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That is my top 5.
Solid list, Jay.
Jay is a bitch cream. No, wait a minute. Mainstream Mark. Yes, there we go.
Jason, let's go ahead and get yours.
All right, so number 5 has been on both of the previous lists as well, and for the same reason it's on mine, is Miss Foley's baby boy, Mick Foley. Number 4, and this is one that we kind of talked about a little bit beforehand. Does a tag team count if the tag team is really only known as the tag team? Whether it does or not, I put him as my number 4. What a rush!
Fuck yeah, boy.
The Legion of Doom. When I was growing up, those dudes coming out with the face paint, the spike shoulder pads, whether they're Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, didn't matter. The Doomsday device, come on. if you were my age, that was your little self jumped up with the Underoos and you're screaming at the TV because Legion of Doom was on it. Number 3 is actually a modern wrestler, Bryan Danielson. He has done a ton in modern wrestling. As far as bringing back the technical stuff, he's overcome the fact that he was told he would never wrestle again. You know, he made being an eco warrior,
An eco warrior.
villain. You know, he had his own special WWE belt made with a sourced fallen oak tree and hemp and aquamarine. I mean, what's not to love about him? Number 2, Mr. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, the game, the cerebral assassin, terrorizing the man that single-handedly ran the reign of terror. There you go. And number 1, I got to go with Jay on this one. When you hear that glass break, if you're, again, our age, you pop.
There are 12-year-olds that never saw him wrestle live in while he was in his prime. That they hear that glass break and go fucking nuts.
Like even up to this year's WrestleMania, right? He has a match with Kevin Owens, one that could easily be on this list in a few years. But yeah, number 1 got to be Stone Cold.
Very solid list from everyone so far. Michael, let's go with you.
All right. So this was a lot harder for me than what I really thought it was going to be. Because when we're like, oh, they're doing their 5 top wrestlers, I was like, sure, I can do that. I have an honorable mention list that keeps growing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read through it. I went with the 5 that just kind of stood out to me. And maybe it's my 5 current favorite. I don't know. Number 5, Samoa Joe. Joe is amazing. His habit of just walking away when people are going to jump off of the rope back at him, I love it. Number 4, Becky Lynch. While I haven't really enjoyed her most recent heel run, at least the latter half of it, overall, I really enjoy Becky Lynch. The man, she's great.
Bravo, Michael, with the women's representation.
Somebody had to do it. Number 3, AJ Styles. The phenomenal AJ Styles. Always puts on a great show. His matches with Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels in the X Division and TNA just stand the test of time. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That glass breaks, what he meant to wrestling during the late 90s. He has to be on that list. And he doesn't make the top spot for me, but he is my number 2. And, of course, my number 1. When a man's heart is full of deceit, it burns up, dies. A dark shadow falls over his soul. From the ashes of a once great man has risen a curse, a wrong that must be righted. We look to the skies for a vindicator, someone to strike fear into black hearts of a sane man who created him. The battle between good and evil has begun. Against an army of shadows lies the dark warrior, the purveyor of good, with a voice of silence, a mission of justice.
Cody Rhodes.
This is Sting.
Dang, I was close.
Right up there. Right
No,
up there.
Sting always.
It's 1A and 1B. There's
I really had hoped that you'd got through that because you fucking knocked that out, and then you got to Purveyor.
Yeah, I messed that up. But yeah, Sting, just when I was younger and started watching wrestling and he switched to the Crow gimmick, it just, I only watch wrestling a little bit every once in a while. Usually every summer when I visited my grandparents, it was about the only time we had cable to watch it. Sting just always caught my attention, and he's always been my favorite since then.
Very nice, very nice. Aaron, let's go with you.
So mine's going to be a little bit older than everyone else. It's not going to be people from the 50s. I was just fucking with you guys about that. And my number 5 has changed since Holder picked them. I said them. I was actually hoping someone would before me so I could bring someone else in. But number 5, the Freebirds. Okay. Love them. I mean, come on, man. What's not to like about the Freebirds? Everything is awesome about them. Number 4, Harley Race, just because it's Harley fucking Race. Come on, guys. Number 3, and this is going to be one of the dark horses, but we were talking about people that could carry a promo for 3+ minutes earlier tonight, but people love to hate this dude. Ravishing Rick Rude could fucking just ignite a crowd, dude. Come on. As soon as he came out, you knew shit was going to go down. Number 2, it's a toss-up right here between Stone Cold and The Rock. And I'm probably going to go with The Rock just because my daughter, when she was like 4 years old, would run around the house screaming at the top of her lungs, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" It was the cutest shit ever. So I'm going to do The Rock. See, that was number 2. See, I fucked up my list because I wanted to bring someone else in that absolutely amazing. Fuck it. Scratch out The Rock. Scratch him out. Put Greg the Hammer Valentine up there.
The deep cuts.
Yeah, there you go, man. I mean, look, who else could come out and rule the ring like he did? You've never fucking seen him wrestle. You've never seen him come out with that fierceness in his eyes.
I recognize the name, but I've never seen him wrestle.
Yeah, you should.
Aaron out here making us look like posers or some
Really
shit.
should.
Jesus.
And number 1, if anybody that knows me is listening to this, I mean, you guys may know who my number 1 pick is going to be. And it was actually going to be, I was looking to see how I could get him as all 5, but it's going to be Mick Foley. I mean, he's done so much for wrestling. So much.
You could have gotten 3 out of 5 at least.
I know I
There
could
you
have
go.
gotten 3
Just
out of
saying.
5. I probably could have gotten 4 or the 5, but
Yeah, I guess realistically, you could list Mick Foley as one.
yeah.
So,
Faces.
just for everyone understanding, Greg the Hammer Valentine took The Rock outside and fucking took his knees out and took his number 2 spot.
I mean, that's the era of wrestling that Greg the Hammer Valentine came from.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him.
If that was a
Pentagon.
story on Dark Side of the Ring, I would believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a chance to meet him at Pentagon. One of the nicest guys you could ever meet. There was another guy there, and I can't think of his name, but that night we got to fuck with Greg.
Nice.
Because he's like, "What do you want me to wrestler for? What are you paying him for an autograph and a picture for? Wrestling's fake." That night at the bar, Greg the Hammer was there for just a little bit, and Greg the pharmacist was as well, and the other wrestler. I'm like, "Hey guys, you got to help me fuck with him," because earlier he said wrestling is fake. So he's going to come over in a few minutes, and I want you guys to just fucking lay in on him. And they absolutely did. They fucking just started some verbal fucking shit on him, and Greg almost started crying. It was fan-fucking-tastic. Loved every minute of it. It was worth the price going over there. And
Now I need to see this man.
it was fantastic.
I feel like it would have
pretty
been
good.
better if he would have put Greg in like a front face lock and been like, "Hey, this is how it's done."
Dude, you need to stop
Are
because
you
I can only get
slap
so
him
hard.
or something like that?
You need to
You calling this
stop.
fake now? You calling it fake?
You need to stop because I can only get so erect. But yeah, Mick Foley's going to be number 1, and just because of all the shit that he's done, and everyone here and people that are listening should know what he's done.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we're gonna go through all of these in just a few and talk about them. So hey, here's Jody.
Very nice list, Aaron. Jody, let's give it.
All right. So I got a little bit of both worlds. I got a little bit of country and a little bit of rock and roll. Got a little bit of old and a little bit of new. My number 5 is The Undertaker. Guy who wrestled through multiple eras of wrestling. Debuted in '88. I think it was SummerSlam. I can't remember.
SummerSlam.
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series 91.
91.
Same night as the Gobbledygooker.
There we go. The same night as the Gobbledygook.
Yeah,
Sweet.
In fact, the funny part there was after, just as a little interjection on that, since Jay shouted out Gobbledygooker, Undertaker thought when he got there he was going to be the Gobbledygooker.
Oh God, it could have happened.
He thought he was going to be the Eggman.
He thought he was going to be the Eggman that was in the egg. Like he had been ribbed a bit about
Right.
it, and he was sure that that's what they were going to do to him. As his, this is where you're going to enter from, and thankfully it didn't happen that way. Otherwise, I don't think we would be talking as fondly about a Western Undertaker who had voodoo powers.
Who didn't talk for like 4 or 5 years? Yeah. My number 4 is Terry Funk.
Okay.
Old school wrestler. Had some good angles from the late 80s, early 90s on through for a really long time. Wrestled Sabu, almost died several times in the ring.
Currently on his 387th retirement.
He would actually put people on fire with a branding iron. That shit was awesome. My number 3 is the man Eddie Guerrero. Also a phenomenal wrestler. Made a lot of waves in the business. He is definitely missed. My second pick is a little bit old school. Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, that was during the time where I was in my younger days, and definitely left an impression. Very over the top, in a good way. And my number 1 is my favorite wrestler of all time, and will be my favorite wrestler of all time, because you never throw rocks at a man with a machine gun. Roddy Piper is my number 1.
The only number 1 I knew on this list before this week, including my own.
It was a shame he never got a world title, but Vince told him in the back that, you know, he got over as a heel so much, there's no reason for me to put the strap on you. Fuck you, Vince. So that is my top 5.
There we go. Very nice list.
Pretty sure Ethan's are just John Cena 5 times.
You beat me to the joke.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. Fuck all y'all.
Having your watch stolen has turned you into a street thug. How does that fucking work?
Could you say a street doctor of thugonomics?
I'm gonna throw something at you.
Word
And you
life.
won't know
It's
what
not
it
gonna be your
is.
fucking watch.
My list, okay? My list, my time. My number 5 is going to be kind of a newer one.
No!
I will throw something at you too.
I've got a full can of Sprite. Go for it.
It's going to be John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose. I liked him from the original Shield out of Seth himself and Roman. He was kind of like the odd one out of the bunch, so I appealed more to him, and I like what he did when he left WWE to AEW. So he's my number 5. My number 4 is going to be The Game, the Cerebral Assassin, Triple H. Everything he did with Shawn Michaels, China, and D-Generation X. Everything he did up to, I want to say his WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar. I liked that build up. So yeah, amazing wrestler. My number 3 is going to be Bray Wyatt. Everything past like the Wyatt family gimmick with him, after he separated from the others, he just became this like entity of chaos, madness. He was the only heel I would ever like root for anytime he was in a match, and so he was kind of like enthralling, interesting to look at, and I liked everything he did with The Fiend. My number 2 is going to be Rey Mysterio. The Giant Slayer, the true underdog, him winning the 2006 Royal Rumble and winning that WrestleMania. Everything I loved about it. I still love him today. However, my number 1 is going to be The Undertaker. Everything from the gong, all the lights go out, all of his acolytes come out with the torches, light up the ramp. He says nothing, but he emanates power.
That's a solid list, Ethan.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
You need to stop coming up with these solid fucking lists after we bash on you for like 3 minutes. It makes us look bad. God damn it!
No, actually, I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact of beating up the.
Oh,
young
is he
kid,
like the
and
Is he like the underdog face?
He's the Rey Mysterio of this group. Now put on some overalls and take off your shirt.
Maybe before each one of these lists, someone should steal some of your shit. Makes you think.
You guys tell me that daily. We don't need to record for you guys to tell me I'm shit.
Where did
shit? Someone needs to steal some of your shit.
where did Bob Shinedown fall on your list?
Bob Shinedown was number 6, easily. He's always the number 6 slot.
So there was no. I want to just jump in and say there was no Ric Flair on there.
No Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
Yeah. Shocked even.
He was
Well,
close to the top 5.
like we were talking about it earlier too. I believe that you can have a list of objectively the best wrestlers, right?
You have to.
And that can be different
Right.
than your personal
Because
favorites.
Dusty
Like,
didn't make it either.
Dusty didn't
Yeah.
make it.
He was close
I
on
mean,
mine.
Rick could have been on there.
No Scott Hall.
No Scott Hall.
No Scott Hall.
Wait. Outside of Hogan on mine, there's no NWO presence at all.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
on this list.
So there's no Flair.
No Shawn Michaels.
Only one.
Yeah, no
John
Bret
Shawn
Hart.
Michaels, no Bret
No
Hart.
Bret Hart.
Yeah.
No
John
Owen
Cena
Hart.
shows up once. No Chris Jericho. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair here. Jericho probably deserves to be on a top 5 list.
And I think Pillman would be if he had unfortunately if he would have had a longer stay in the
Yeah.
business, because he was just starting to get momentum when tragedy struck him, unfortunately.
Because, I mean, but yeah, I really believe.
Edge,
Oh, and Edge. He was on a
No Kurt
short
Angle.
list.
no Kurt Angle.
You know, I mean, I think objectively there is a top 5 wrestlers that if you sat down in a vacuum and said, okay, who are these 5 top? Who are the 5 top ever? Yeah, I think Flair ends up on that list.
Like,
Hogan ends up on that list.
I
Cena ends up
I
on that
disagree
list.
with that point because of how varied wrestling is, and it's starting to become again now that you have two healthy American like they've both taken their hits, they've both taken their shots.
Healthy is a strong word
Health-
for one
Yeah.
of them.
After
Right.
what we
It-
just saw tonight, I don't know if healthy's a word.
No. It impacts on what Access TV like.
Yeah.
We have two American companies right now. Again here on cable deals with internet. Like you have some internet event they running pay-per-views or
Right.
premium live events. If you want to be a full-on fucking mark for the WWE, yeah. Like I think right now it's starting to become more varied again. Like on a much larger scale than it has
As
been.
a fan, it's all objective, but as anybody who's in the business, and a lot of us have read books about the business, there's a quote, I cannot remember who said it, but they were talking about the very famous Ricky the Dragon Steamboat match against Macho Man, and they were talking about like how, you know, fans say that it's the best match on the card. However, the business side of things says that the main event was the money draw.
Yeah, that was Al Snow.
And so,
specifically said that,
right,
yeah.
right. Also, so you have like what drove the money, what got butts and seats, what were the ratings, if there was ratings involved. There's so many aspects.
And, you know, that kind of ties in like with modern wrestling right now too, with Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns sells more merch than anybody else, and most people just don't like him.
Well, even then, Brock Lesnar, he held the championship for what?
Hostage.
Hostage, yeah, literally.
Hostage.
it's a good-
Forget number of
good take.
days. It's criminal.
But before he became the part-time champion, when he first debuted, he was still a drawer, yet he's not on anyone's top 5.
Yeah, Lesnar's not on there. I mean, just is.
Like if I'm looking at this list, right, and I'm saying, okay, I want to make this, you know, the top 5, right? I feel like Hogan should be there, but then, you know, thinking about the fact only Jay put him on there and only at 5.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think you can put him on that list, but if you go back and you start looking through, you know, adjusted for inflation merch sales, and you start looking at that kind of stuff, Hogan blows everybody out of the water.
My controversial opinion of Hogan, which is not the non-controversial version of this, is I fucking hate him and he sucks. But my controversial opinion is he has done as much to hurt wrestling as he has done to help wrestling.
You're 1,000% right. You know, I mean, he's the reason TNA didn't go where it belonged. You can argue.
He is a reason. I will give you
a reason.
There's several reasons
Multiple
to that.
factors,
Dixie Carter is the major reason.
And Bischoff is also
'Cause
I look at it from this point. Dixie didn't really know what she was doing. She gets Hogan in there. Hogan and Bischoff immediately run the company into the ground.
Man, are we talking about AEW? So
Oh, deep cut.
Shit. Oh man,
Hogan did it more politically. CM Punk threw a literal pipe bomb. Let me ask this. So it's asking for a negative. Take us 2 weeks. Take this podcast. Put it, say, a month ago. Is Punk on any of y'all's lists?
no.
I don't think he's on my list, but I think he makes honorable mention.
not top 5.
He wouldn't have.
He hits my top 10.
He wouldn't have made it on this long ass list. That
Legitimately, he probably would have supplanted Hogan for my 5.
I have appreciated even before this. I was one of the ones who was kind of apprehensive about CM Punk coming in, and then he won me over, and then he fucked all that up.
And then he lost everyone
yes.
else.
Well, there's no OG Ring of Honor guys in my list at all.
But like I missed out on the big, like I stopped watching wrestling when through most of, I remember CM Punk debuting on
That's fair.
WWE ECW. And then and that's around the time I stopped watching
Right.
wrestling. And by
That's
the time
fair.
I came back, he was gone. I remember the pipe bomb and all that, and I appreciated a lot of the stuff that he did, but I was never like a huge fan of his. So he wouldn't have even made
With
this.
Punk's actions, I had to take him off, and it's the same thing with Hogan. Hogan probably would have been on my list, but with what he's done in the last 10 years or so, or before, whenever it was, I can't put him on there. And it's the same. Chris Benoit should have been on my list.
Chris
but
Benoit would have
because
been
of
very
his
high on my list
actions,
if he wasn't a
Yes.
fucking
what
monster.
he did in the last days of his life, he cannot and will not be represented on my list. But
Yeah, I
my
was
favorite
debating that.
WrestleMania moment is Benoit Eddie at the end of WrestleMania 30 at the Hug in the Ring.
20,
That-
20.
Or 20. I'm
20,
sorry,
yeah, that literally got me back into wrestling and watching it for a little while. And his death pretty much stopped me watching wrestling
I was,
for a
I was
while.
debating putting Benoit on mine, but his actions, like you said, at the end of his life,
The other thing to
was
think-
like, fuck it.
The other thing here is looking at this list. There's no New Japan representation other than
I was-
AJ, kinda.
I was about to say
AJ, no,
that.
AJ definitely works.
And
Well,
At the bottom of my top 10.
I say AJ kinda because AJ Styles made his name in America in TNA. He didn't make his name in America in New Japan.
And like
simple.
the majority of all these guys, they're more known from being like part of WWE.
Yeah.
And besides Danielson, Moxley, who moved over to AEW,
Well, yeah.
they made their name in WWE.
Well, also, Ethan, just to let you know, before 2005, there was only one wrestling company for like 6 years.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a big part of that, you know.
And I think the other thing is that goes back to what I was mentioning earlier about an objectively best wrestlers versus our favorites, right? Mm-hmm. I think you have to put Okada on a list of best wrestlers.
Naito,
Naito,
Tanahashi.
I would put
Tanahashi is like 10 or 11 for me.
and I would
Those
put
have to go there.
right, and I would put Hayabusa, but you guys are not familiar with his work
know who he is.
I
a
know
lot,
Hayabusa-
right?
I know who Hayabusa
Do-
is,
So,
yeah.
so with all this being said, would we put Kenny on one of our lists?
I was going to say Kenny would be another one. The only problem is Kenny has not really done anything in America.
No, not really.
Yeah, he's been the AEW champion. It wasn't that great, honestly, of a run.
And then he was out for injury.
Because it was the same thing over and over. It was just the elite attacking
Yeah.
people, and it got really boring.
That's
and
as
that's-
much about Tony Khan's book.
Yeah,
as
that's
it is
book,
about the
exactly.
man.
Yeah.
But for the time being, until the results of the investigation come out, I've got to include Kenny and the Young Bucks in that same status with CM Punk right now because
Unprofessional
of
behavior.
what they've
Yeah.
done. Until all of that washes out, I don't know where they stand. Now, CM Punk is definitely forever off of that list because of what he said in the media scrum beforehand and how he handled himself there. The fight afterwards removes Kenny and the Bucks until we see what actually happened.
There's another name that, I'm surprised but not surprised is there is Kane. I'm not surprised he's not on any of our lists.
yeah.
Kane
But
has the
also-
problem. Kane has the problem of without the Undertaker, there is no Kane, and he will always be in the shadow of the dead man.
Without the Undertaker, he's Isaac Yankem.
Yeah,
Right. He was in some really awesome
That is true,
angles
yeah.
because, again, in the
But he
Undertaker,
did have good angles outside of
he did,
of
and-
the Undertaker.
but
as
it was
well.
only like the problem with WWE after like 2000. As far as like you take out like the hard workers and you're just like the really great story angles didn't necessarily have great wrestling in them.
Without the Undertaker, Kane is fake Diesel.
No, he's Isaac Yankem. Isaac Yankem
Yeah.
was the first thing that he did.
Yeah.
Then he was fake Diesel.
then he was fake Diesel,
And, I mean, he was Unabomber before any of
yeah,
that.
but that was in
but
his
that was-
like.
but that was in the Smoky Mountain stuff.
The same reason I didn't put Kevin Nash on my list is the same reason why I would put Kane on my list. Is I mean, Kevin Nash has a decent character, or became a decent character in WCW, but his physical in promo not great for me personally.
For me, he exists in this weird world where his detractors diminish him too much, and the people who really love him prop him up a bit too much. I think he was very good.
Yeah.
I think he was 100% very good.
I think he was surrounded by a great in a lot of some depending on the time period and things like that. And also, when mostly what you're known for is being in a faction, it doesn't necessarily let you have room to shine as a solo.
He had a lot of charisma. It's just that like his ring work wasn't the best.
When that faction is the NWO, though, I mean, they literally changed wrestling.
No, I'm not saying they didn't
and
as a group.
and when the backstage faction is the Click,
Right.
Yeah.
that now run wrestling.
But it's hard for you as a singles wrestler to stand out when you're always in a group, always with your friends. You know, always like, you know, laying down for your friends with a finger to the chest.
the exception that proves the rule, Ric Flair.
And I mean,
Right.
Scott Hall, great wrestler, great character.
Whiskey and Wrestling did a crossover event with the Travelers on the Omnibus where we talked about the death of Scott Hall and his impact on us. He's not on the list. I feel embarrassed.
I don't though.
Yeah.
Because Scott Hall was a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had great charisma.
a massive personality.
Great
Yes.
charisma.
He never hit the top of the mountain.
He never had the best promo of all time. He was very good. You believed his character.
He was never the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the bad guy.
Right.
But he wasn't the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know, I think Jay and I have discussed it before in like with football, right? Dan Marino is a great quarterback. He never won a championship. And while championships don't mean everything, especially in a scripted event like wrestling, they do say a lot about the staying power of a name, right?
I think they definitely say something different. Like if a company is putting their championship on you, it means they have faith in your ability to work, which means people of really impactful decision making looked at you and said, yes, we want you to be the figurehead of this company.
And that's why the championship means something to the people who are holding the title. We need to probably start eliminating names off of this list here in a second.
While we're still doing this, let me virtue signal a little bit and just bring up some women that should have probably been on here.
Trish Stratus for me.
Trish Stratus. Lita
as well.
Mickey James.
Yep.
The one that I was seriously thinking about, probably number 5, was Asuka. I fucking love Asuka. As much work as she's done and really can't speak English, that's fucking amazing.
Trish Stratus and Becky. Trish Stratus and Lita like elevated there wasn't a women's division.
And Mickey James as well on that list.
They
Molly
weren't
Holly, she's a big one as well. She kind of like turned the stereotypical buxom blonde on its head.
I also
Hate her because of her booking. But Charlotte should be in the conversation.
And Sasha and Bailey.
Well, yeah,
Sasha
and,
Bailey too.
The 4 horsewomen. Let me ask this, not to take away any kind of guilt or any kind of like, you know, say what you will about it. How much is, again, Becky is the only one that ended up on any person's list here. How much of that is just major companies, even when there were territories still around, pushing the women wrestlers as an also ran?
honestly, I feel like at the age that all of us are, right, looking at our lists, those lists are indicative of the Attitude Era, the beginning of, or the end of the New Generation Era, the Attitude Era, and the Ruthless Aggression Era. So you didn't have, quote unquote, legit women's wrestling.
There were years on the WWE where there was not a women's title defended.
Exactly.
Years. In the 80s, there were years. Like, they would have, like, one match at a WrestleMania, and you wouldn't see the title defended for 3 or 4 years.
You had that. Then you had...
It's the reason why the Fabulous Moolah has the longest reign ever, because there's literally no one challenging her.
there. Then you run into the Attitude Era where it was... You had Trish and Lita, who were legit as all can be, right? Mm-hmm. Then the rest of the women's roster was the bra and panties match.
Oh, whoa. Molly Holly.
You had Molly Holly. You had
Victoria, Ivory.
You did.
But they weren't. But they were used like shit.
So
Right.
I will,
Bra and panties match.
I will admit
There was
that
a 50-50,
correction. Yes,
yeah.
there were a lot of them.
There was also Tori
talent,
Wilson
but they
and Dawn
were used
Marie.
terrible.
Use them.
Then they also had Sable.
You had Sable,
Stacey Keebler.
Tori Wilson,
Dawn Marie.
You had all of these the Playboy women. Because I mean, China was there too, right? She held the Intercontinental title. but you had all of these women that the women's matches on your main shows were never, Trish and Lita going 30 minutes. It was Dawn Marie and Stacy Keibler in a Braun Penny's mud
Or
match.
in a hotel room.
Or in a lingerie pillow fight. Or Trish Stratus barking like a dog.
Fantastic bookings, all of them.
Yes.
I mean,
the image of
that's
Vince
the
McMahon.
problem.
But also remember, Trish and Lita were the first.
The
women to
opinions
get
of
a-
Aaron do not reflect the rest of at least me. I can say that. I don't know about everybody else.
Remember, Trish and Lita were the first women to get the main event on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And wrestled a hell of a match in that
Absolutely.
night.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, though. Like, I think realistically, that is an age difference. Pure and simple. I feel like if we're in Ethan's time, I could have expected Ethan to have a female wrestler on the list, and it would have made a whole lot more sense than, say, one of us. Yeah. Pure and, I mean, it sounds terrible to say it that way, but it's kind of the truth.
I got to hand it to the Monsters at Titan. Like, they have pushed women's wrestling further. And because they've been in the position to be able to do it, and they've actually done it in the last couple of years.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, looking at this list,
Let's look at the list first because
before we start picking, Brady, who would you like to give that bullet to?
Thank you for taking the agency away from me and giving me a chance to interrupt and give somebody the bullet. I appreciate that. Very nice. For that, you won't get it. Jody, you got the bullet. Use it whenever you want to.
okay, cool.
All right.
Alrighty.
Well, if you are eliminating people, watch out for the sniper. Time to pay the piper, because it's Roddy Piper's on.
This one's going to be hard because
This is-
a lot of people also have, like, people who are further down the list than that person's also, like, the top of somebody's list.
Yeah, I'm not going to hit anything that's overlapping on
Well,
this.
and again, also, who?
Rid of my fucking people.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
the
that's
bullet. So the bulletproof vests are going out to Stone Cold, Sting, The Undertaker, Mick Foley, the Macho Man Randy Savage, and Roddy Piper.
yeah.
And honestly, that could be your top 5 right
Yeah.
there.
Might end up being the top 5
You're,
right there.
you're not wrong.
But spoilers.
At one time or another have probably loved work from every single person that's represented on this board right now. I've watched a lot of old stuff. I've watched a lot of Harley Race stuff. In fact, one of the reasons why I got into older wrestling when I started like delving backwards because I didn't, as a child, didn't get to watch Roddy Piper versus Greg the Hammer Valentine in a dog collar match where Greg the Hammer Valentine cupped his hand and busted Roddy's eardrum and caused him to have vertigo. Man, I might just hold on to it for a minute and figure out what we're doing first.
All righty.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's go with locks on the list. Stone Cold.
Yeah.
He's on what, 4 lists or 3 lists?
I see
2
3
at the
lists,
top.
but yeah, 2 at the top.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
again, not necessarily number 1.
No,
but
just in the
definitely
top
list.
5.
Yeah. All right. So
I would say.
When it comes to top guys, in the Attitude Era, it's the Stone Cold and The Rock. My heart was always with The Rock, but I can't really argue against Stone Cold either. Like, it's
How many times?
Aaron's heart was with The Rock, and then Greg the Hammer Valentine ripped it out.
How many times is Taker on there?
I see. I
He's
see
the
Taker
number 1
twice.
once, and he is on there 3 times. He's
3
3rd
times.
on Brady's list, and he is, I believe, 5th on your list, Jody.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can put an asterisk over those guys and, come back to them if we need to, just to, because I don't want to put everybody in the top 5 just because they have,
One I
crossover.
One I could also throw out there, Triple H. He's on 3 of our lists. One at number 2, one at number 4 for mine.
And yeah, 2, 4, and 5. Jason has him at 2. Ethan has him at 4. Brady has him at 5. I would say this: in about 5 to 10 years, we're going to be making the argument that he was the best wrestling executive of all time.
Absolutely.
Like surpassing, like he's not there. Vince, for all the shit, is still number 1 just because of longevity and the major moments that he brought about. We have a thing called WrestleMania because of Vince McMahon.
If you fuckers get rid of Mick Foley, I'm killing someone.
He can't be eliminated by a bullet.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And there's a point to be made there. Like as far as people, like he is what, like he's
Fucking
number
murdering people. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, 4 on Brady's. I believe he is number 2. Yeah, he's number 2 on mine. Number 1 on Aaron's.
he gives the non-traditional looking wrestlers,
Mick Foley Mick Foley is us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely,
Mick
yeah.
Foley makes me think like if I was at a WWE show and they just had somebody got hurt in the back, they'd be like, "You, come on!" You know,
We are the faces of Mick Foley.
Let's take a look at
Here's
the
some
list.
cheetah
again.
print. Here's some cheetah print boots. Take
Right.
them.
We need to see let's see the chalkboard again,
Put on
Jay.
a
Sorry.
photo unless
I
it's
know
quite
it's heavy.
Quite all right. Quite all right.
I know it's heavy, but we need to kind of look at it.
Skinny
'Cause-
little bird arms of his.
No, exactly.
All right. So I think I'm the only person to put Eddie Guerrero on there, which is, I mean, there's a lot of one shots on there.
He was like so fucking close with me with Guerrero. I love the dude, love him, but
I get that. I get that.
Does the list have to represent a tag team? Because tag team wrestling, like again, because because Vince McMahon didn't care about tag teams for years. Tag teams are almost go hand in hand with solo competitive. If you look at the history of wrestling,
A lot of the singles competitors were in tag teams. If they weren't like long, angles, they were in tag teams.
Shawn Michaels doesn't appear on a single list.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's just,
He's not.
I'm
because
sorry
he
for
kicked Marty
interjecting.
Jannetty
No.
through a window.
Yeah, that's probably what.
That's his
yeah.
penance.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's what should get him into heaven.
He doesn't get to be on a top 5 list on a show that's listened to by 50 people.
Yeah, he got allegedly Mario Jannetty on crack. Allegedly. So we can't let him. Allegedly. He's canceled.
That could be slanderous. Michael Sean Hickenbottom did not get
allegedly.
Allegedly.
There we go. Are you happy? Allegedly.
I'm gonna edit up to the point, and then I'm gonna edit your thing to cut out that middle and just be allegedly, and then you're safe, man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Should a tag team be on the top 5 list? Maybe, but on the other hand, only 2 of us put top tag teams on there, and they were near the bottom.
Look at the tag teams that are up there, though. They're iconic.
They are, but I can also say you and I are the only ones that put tag teams on there, and we both put them at number 4 and number 5. So
Yeah, we have to whittle it down somehow.
So let's start with the Freebirds. Yes, they're iconic as a tag team. Yes, they are responsible for music in entrances and the Freebird rule. But I think
Michael Hayes is
Michael
the Freebirds.
Hayes is he's more known
I
for being a
disagree with
producer.
that fucking full on. Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy. Oh my! First of all, those were the wrestlers of the group.
I
Yes,
would
but
say-
we're the only people that remember those guys. Is what I'm saying.
I would argue people also don't remember fucking.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
Yeah, notice I forgot him.
Yeah.
There you go.
No,
Yeah.
Michael Hayes is going to go down in history not for his wrestling, but for his producing work in the background of WWE.
I have to agree on that.
I think we take off the Freebirds.
like as someone who has a tag team on their list, I don't think a tag team necessarily needs to be in the top 5.
Fucking yo, should have put Bruiser.
The Bruiser.
Yeah, Bruiser
Brody.
Oh yeah, Bruiser Brody. Yeah, Bruiser Brody.
There was part of me that wanted to be like, all right, my list is the following:
Sailor White.
Bastion Booger, Barry Horowitz,
Barry Horowitz again.
the Brooklyn Brawler,
Gilbert.
and number 1 being the 1-2-3 Kid because he got that one over on Razor.
Not X-Pac, the 1-2-3 kid.
Yes.
Not X-Pac, not Sean Waltman, the 1-2-3.
And certainly not six.
And not
Definitely
6.
not 6.
6 was his worst gimmick, I think.
For those of you that don't know, all of those previous people were the exact same person.
Yes. Multiple gimmicks, one person.
Like Mick Foley, but way fucking.
There is no Jake Roberts on our list, by the way.
There isn't.
Fuck, man.
So what would be the process if we all decided like, crap, we forgot to put that guy on the list. Let's add him.
Oh no.
Look,
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I was talking to you guys earlier about this. I'm like, is it the top 5 of all time, or is we just doing different eras, or
It's
certain
top
eras?
5 of all
We're
time.
we're missing a lot of guys, but I think we have some solid lists
Yeah,
here.
yeah, we have
even
solid
though
lists.
like
I think Brady was the one that was like, "Oh man, we did our favorite songs ever," and that you should have been there for that because it's like every song. Dude, just fucking throw a dart at any
that was
Queen
literally,
album.
but that was literally like every song ever, and songs are so tied to mood.
Dude, just throw 5 darts
My
at
mood
fucking
doesn't really
Queen
change with my
discography.
favorite
You
wrestlers,
pick
so
something
like
I vote The Undertaker to be in the top 5.
Yeah,
I think locks right now for the top 5 are Stone Cold, Mick Foley, and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Undertaker for his longevity, Stone Cold for being the number 1 star and the number 1 boom period in all of wrestling, and Mick Foley for almost everything.
He's ever done.
He has everything. Like he could even do he even knew how to wrestle technically, but he even said it's like what ended up making me the checks was the Nestea plunge onto the concrete floor.
I'll agree with that, and I know that all 3 of those guys were pretty much in the same time period. Undertaker wrestled for 30, 40 years, whatever. That sounds fine to me. I don't want the whole list to be Attitude Wrestlers, though. Just saying.
I'll make a notion for one. John Cena. At one point, every wrestling fan liked John Cena
Or hated him. Yeah, boys, go for it.
Are you saying John Cena?
Cena.
I was about to ask that.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me put that little tilde thing over the end now. Hang on.
To be fair, he did wrestle in a luchador mask one time as Juan Cena.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have.
I've now changed his name to John Yacina.
He could have gone that extra step. Just saying.
So who? One second, Ethan. Who are our locks again? Austin,
Mick Foley, and The Undertaker.
I could see John Cena on there just for the simple fact of ruthless aggression.
Yes, John Cena was literally 2 years after the Attitude Era.
John Yacina.
Spray painted poopy.
Okay, I know most of us really didn't watch much of this guy because he was before our time, but if we don't have like Ric Flair or like that, how about we get what about Harley Race, the guy who definitely
and for me again, he is the progenitor of so much in the modern day that you don't think about.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly fine.
that
with it.
at least that's one older guy that we put in there.
We have if we do that, then it's right now because we haven't made up our mind on John Cena yet, but I'm going to run that to the fucking ground. I know, but Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley, The Undertaker, and Harley Race.
Now, again, I just mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again. Even though I said Attitude Era, I should have been more clear and said like within 5 years of each other, because Cena debuted in 2002. I know he didn't take off.
You have a bullet.
Immediately. John Cena's gone.
All right.
Thank you, because I really didn't want to have to argue.
John Cena.
I didn't
John
really want to
Cena's
have to
gone.
argue not putting him on there, so I appreciate that. My heart was hoping that you would throw Hogan under the bus like he threw so many wrestlers, but
Hogan's not making our top 5.
Hogan's not going to make our top 5. Let's look at it like this, and I'm going to throw my number 1 out there. Does Sting deserve to be on the list in the top 5?
Yeah. He's not a top 5.
No, and I'm asking that. Does Sting deserve to be there? He was the one standing up to the NWO during the entire.
And then
well,
Hulk
he was
Hogan
also
fucked
standing.
that.
He was also standing up to the Four Horsemen. Like
Yes.
he crossed into
Now
two
we
eras.
have let me
but he was a surfer.
but
My child ass loved Surfer Sting.
You have-
anybody with face paint. That's why. That's why I had.
That was the Brady Davis
That's why I
criteria.
had to seriously consider the Ultimate Warrior.
So let's see.
because that childhood.
Sting, the Ultimate Warrior, the Legion of Doom.
Yeah. Oh, the shoulder pads.
Put them
Fuck
on the
yeah.
list.
Hold on.
My dumb ass child brain loved that shit.
Don't somehow conflate the Road Warriors with surfer dudes. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
now you have a guy
I was going with face paint.
Yeah.
you have a guy who has a good gimmick. Sting up until 1996 had no promo work. His surfer promo shit was not great. He carried the company, quote unquote, for a while before the the invasion angle with the NWO and all that. I don't know. For me personally, if I would put him in the top 5 wrestlers of all time, that's just how I feel.
All right. Let me make a passionate plea for Macho Man.
No need. I think he could go in there.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, he's the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, duh.
Okay.
Like, I've been wondering.
Okay.
Wait. What do you mean last one?
That's the 5th one.
Who was the 4th?
Harley Race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is,
you know
is
what?
everybody okay with that?
I'm cool with that list.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
It has the.
Well, that's the next step, Aaron.
Damn, I had like a Mr. Smith Goes to Washington moment that I had all cooked up.
Yeah, you don't.
They don't have
Yeah,
to.
no. Congress has already been bought and paid for
He
you.
was he did everything that Hogan did, only he wasn't an asshole about it. Like he was okay with losing.
So Macho Man, right? Macho Man.
I would not oppose to Macho Man.
Yeah, no one should be opposed to
good
Macho
with him
Man.
on that list.
I would love for Piper to be on the list because he's my favorite wrestler. But during that time period, Macho Man was a huge draw for the company at the time.
And sadly, I think Roddy Piper, as much as I love him too, he also falls in the Scott Hall bucket.
He does.
And I know we mentioned it, and we know
Right.
we talked about, hey, you got over without the belt.
Yeah.
But
also,
he
he's
was the guy.
He also suffers from just exposure because the thing about Piper that hinders him to a degree is him and Vince didn't always see eye to eye. You know, after WrestleMania 2 or something in between 2 and 3, like he left the company for a couple years, wrestled Independence, came back, went to WCW. You know, he would flip and flop everywhere. So I think that also hurt the bottom line for Roddy.
Yeah, we kind of lose sight of this sometimes, but I think something that we need to bring up is that wrestling is not a meritocracy. It is not the best person who does the best promo work and the best ring work that always gets it.
It's a roundabout, you know.
It's for most of these people, it was whoever the fuck Vince McMahon's ass wanted to
That's
be
very
on
true.
the top.
Yeah.
Don't let Harley hear you say that.
So
go
I
with-
said for the most.
No, I
most
get
part,
you. I get
like,
you. Yeah, but
because
Harley Race will dig out of the grave just to kill all of us.
Because in all fairness,
possible.
like this whole list, with the exception of Harley Race, mostly, and Sting, mostly, that's all WWE guys.
Yeah,
WWF, WWE.
right. Also, to be fair, a lot of those guys worked in both companies, both of the
except
big
for a
companies.
couple of, the free
Macho Man worked in WCW.
Macho
Mick
Man
Foley worked in WCW. The Undertaker had a short stint as Mean Mark Calloway in WCW.
He was in that. He was in the Halloween Havoc, the shitty match with
Yeah,
the two
the-
cages and the electric chair.
Right.
Yeah.
Where Abdullah the Butcher got electrified.
Yeah, but he was the one who
really.
had to like push the lever back up because it fell.
They had to put it to the off again, and they shoot it. Like I love Dusty's. I love it's like the film crew shoot it.
Yeah.
They shoot it, baby.
Also in that match was Scott Hall as Diamond Stud.
Yes.
Rey Mysterio was in both companies. Rick Rude.
I just want to say that Rey Mysterio, every time I watch him wrestle now, makes me mad because of how relatively old he is and can still function at that high of a level.
Right.
Yeah.
Other people are like barely being able to fucking move.
Him and Dustin Rhodes.
Sting is jumping off the
No, that's
But Dustin at least looks old as shit. That's
yeah.
why he wears the face paint.
I feel like Dustin goes to the back and he's just like, somebody give me some Percocet. I just took 4 Canadian destroyers off of a balcony through chairs.
Yeah.
So, hey, Brady, I got a question for you. With Dustin with the face paint on, does it make your dick hard like when you were younger?
Only when he was Gold Dust.
Nice.
New Jack killed Sting 5 years ago and is going around wearing his face and is just jumping off of fucking.
I wanted so bad to put.
Shit, we didn't put any ECW people.
I wanted so bad to put
didn't
Raven.
even mention
I
them
wanted
this other
Hold
time.
on,
Sorry.
Raven. I wanted to put
hold
Raven.
on, let me fix this. Hold on. I'm erasing Hogan
And putting
I'm
Raven.
putting a New Jack in.
What about
Okay,
Raven?
I'm okay with that.
Fuck Raven. New Jack.
Look, if you guys had done a top
I imagine
10,
that makes Hogan very mad, and I'm okay with that.
if you guys had done a top 10 and even going with a top 5, I was going to be like, look, can I have 2 guys at the top 5? I was going to go RVD and Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
With the shit they did. Oh,
That's
my
one of the
fucking
that's
God.
one of the best match
How
series
about,
of all
how
time.
about Great Value Stone Cold?
Sandman.
Sandman.
Stone Cold stole his gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would say he's target.
Who gets
But who cares?
I would
yeah.
say he's target off brand.
Right.
up and up?
No Tommy Dreamer, you know, but
non-Jack?
Tommy Dreamer
No,
doesn't
New
make
Jack.
a top 100
It's
list.
New
for
Jack
me.
because that's how New Jack would spell it.
Raven
after having his
makes the
brains
top 20
bladdered on
for
the
What
me.
about Raven?
What about Raven?
Yeah, he's not on the list.
I know he's not.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't on the list.
Do you want to erase Roddy Piper and put Raven there? Let's do it.
He's not going to be on the top 5, so what the fuck do I care?
Oh no, I'll erase the Undertaker.
You can put him on there, but it has to be, what's it, Tommy Polo or whatever?
Tommy
Polo. Johnny Flamingo.
Johnny
Yeah, that
Flamingo,
was
that's
good, too.
it.
I just remember
Johnny-
he had the
yeah.
polo shirt.
Dog
and had
with
the
a
polo
list.
stick.
Yeah.
I will say there was part of me that wanted to put like Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Monday Night
That would
as my list of 5.
You know,
That's not even
John
John
Morrison.
Morrison's top 5 list.
looking at this list, a name that's not on there that surprises the fuck out of me is where's Andre at?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna say
Andre is
Mongo.
currently dead, sir. That's where he's at.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Andre, I appreciated way more than I actually.
Andre
'cause he
was a
like beyond-
spectacle.
he was past my
He was
time.
a spectacle
really,
more than
Exactly.
but like
Yeah, but he was an
He was
amazing
a
spectacle.
spectacle.
yeah, he was an amazing spectacle
He
and
was.
probably the best part of Princess Bride.
Yes.
So yeah. Anybody want a peanut?
Hello, pretty lady.
Have we mentioned the man with the greatest Twitter game ever? I make you humble. Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik. That's
How
a
does-
really. It's
how
a re-
does-
he's got
how
a really
does he
good
make
documentary.
Brian Blair humble?
Who's our number
break his
five?
We
back.
can't even talk about that.
Who's our number 5, guys?
So
Or who's our whatever number? Like, if like, do we want to like make statements for where they should show up in the 5, not just at 5?
I will make a statement. Stone Cold at 1.
What? Fuck you, man. Mick Foley deserves number 1.
Wait,
I with Stone Cold as my number 1, I disagree.
Fucking Mick Foley
Foley could
would
be 2.
lay his goddamn life
I'm gonna
down
be
for
honest.
any one of these
in
dudes
this
to make
top
them look
5,
better.
like I can't really argue anybody at anything because like fuck.
I would say Taker, but I mean,
Like an argument could easily be made for Stone Cold, Taker, or Mick Foley as number 1.
This is
I
the
feel like
this is the exact opposite of our top 5 songs, where getting down to 5 songs was
the
difficult, and then once we had the 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Now,
Now that we have 5,
now
it's
that
like-
we've got the 5, it's like we're stripping off shirts and punching.
we're
Like, it's just the way
putting
it is.
race at number 5, right? Like, I mean,
I feel like Harley Race probably is number 5.
I
simply-
can't.
I'd say
at-
Macho Man,
I
number 5.
this is fucked up. Foley for me is at 2. Harley is at number 4. I can't put on a top 5 list. I cannot put Harley Race below Mick Foley. Mm-hmm. I can't do it because again, I look at some of Foley, especially his long. Like we were talking earlier before the show started about long form promo content, and 2 of the best at it were Foley and Harley Race. Harley Race, I think, perfected it in the 70s. That very slow, deliberate, listen to my words. This thing means more to me than anything in this life. Like, just like the power of that, man.
4 of those 5 guys that we have were all active at one time. I'm just saying.
I think I'm going to go ahead and make the motion here that we don't try to order these top 5 because I think it's a Herculean task, and I don't know that we.
That
I
unfortunately
would say
defeats the
a
purpose.
Sisyphean task.
I would say it defeats the purpose of us having a top 5 chalkboard. Unfortunately,
I
forward.
agree with Jody on that. No,
I hate to admit
we
it.
are not hippies.
somewhere in these 5 men, all of us have to come to an agreement that one of these 5 guys is
All right,
the
so
best.
do we want?
Stone Cold Steve Austin is the number 1 spot.
What-
Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Aaron, I'm sorry. Stone Cold Steve Austin led professional wrestling to the highest point. It's
Can we be
been ever.
democratic and just do a raise of hands here to say who?
Okay, so hold on.
Okay, are we doing number 1? Just
Okay,
going
no.
for number 1, and
No,
who
no,
cares about the rest?
We go around the table.
Are we starting at number 5 or number 1?
No. Who would be your number 1 out of this list? Because I think if we knock that out, I think we can get the
Everything
rest a lot
else is
easier.
like whatever.
So, who is your number 1? We start with Brady. We'll start with me. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
With the list, I would also say Stone Cold.
Undertaker.
Fucking Mick Foley, man.
Stone Cold Steve
Fuck you
Austin.
guys.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's the number 1.
Fucking Mick Foley could work. He could fucking speak. He could put people over, protect the fuck out of them.
What?
Fucking
What?
man.
Now.
It was low hanging fruit, and I had to take it, Aaron. I'm sorry.
That was beautiful.
I am sorry.
Other than
I hate that chant. I apologize. Actually, I'm
What?
sorry.
what?
What?
Yeah,
That was really fucking good.
yeah, it was good.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
Moving on.
2 other names were mentioned in the number 1 talk.
Okay.
And that was Mick Foley and The Undertaker. Do we go out from there for 2 and 3, or do we put it back in the soup? What do we?
Let's go to number 2. Let's
go to
do
number
number
two.
2.
Number 2. All right. So again, Stone Cold's out of it. So your number 2 of all time, starting here for me. Honestly, I've got to say The Undertaker.
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 Mick Foley.
For longevity, Undertaker.
Foley.
We got the Undertaker at
Undertaker.
2.
I think that means that Foley takes number 3.
Yes.
I would agree with that. Yes.
I disagree with it, but I will not push the point because I do believe Harley Race should be up above Mick Foley, but that is a lone opinion in a very dark void. So Mick Foley will take the number 3.
This is going to be a true consensus because everybody's not going to be happy about this.
No one's going to be happy about this. No.
All right,
That's
so
why I think it's why we do this.
Number 4.
Number 4 it's between Harley Race and the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Starting with you.
Oh, Harley Race.
Macho Man.
I would say Macho Man.
Macho Man.
Dude Love. Harley Race.
Macho Man.
Harley Race.
I think Macho takes it. So Macho Man is number 4.
Ethan, I want you to do some homework for me. Go watch some of Harley Race's promos, watch some of his matches, and then call Jay afterwards and be like, look. Go ahead and put Harley Race in.
I would also say when you mentioned Rey Mysterio, you talked about like some of his more recent stuff, like in WWE. Go watch some of the matches that he had. I think it was at Halloween Havoc where he had the match with Eddie Guerrero where he wore the purple stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what if you haven't watched that, watch that.
Anything mid-90s Mysterio with Guerrero, Juventud Guerrera. There's one other one that I'm... Ultimo Dragon.
When Kevin Nash torpedoed him into the side of a trailer.
Lawn dart.
I'll do you guys one better. I'll also look at Greg the Hammer.
Yeah, watch the dog collar match between him and Piper.
I
like,
will
for
say,
real.
You know who Greg the Hammer and Valentine's best friends are? The Insane Clown Posse. Not kidding. He was actually on their show that was on Fuse TV.
He also wrestled under the promotion Juggalo
Championship
Wrestling.
Yeah. No, JCW has
that was their name.
Juggalo Championship Wrestling is actually like some of the best underground wrestling there is, period.
They
actually have a good respect for the business.
I will say for me, choosing Macho Man over Harley was a hard decision.
Yeah.
And it comes down to pure exposure for me.
Yeah, that was my decision.
To Macho Man.
I know of Harley Race.
That.
I have not seen much of Harley. Like Harley Race was before
exposure, and
my
also
time.
like merchandising was not a thing during Harley Race's time. Didn't exist.
Yeah.
So
it's arguable that
one of those two men.
It's I'll then you go and we'll let Ethan present to the world our top 5. But outside, like as far as marketing goes, his short stint in the WWE where he was the king of wrestling, I think was when he made the most money from a marketing end point. I couldn't say anything regarding like the championship run and when he was making all the towns in the NWA, but yeah.
One of those two men was in Spider-Man. The other one was not. So,
Man, it's going to be awkward when someone points out Harley Race was in Spider-Man. He was like the Green Goblin stunt double.
Sam Raimi was like a big Harley Race fan, so he was in the audience.
Harley Race did all of Macho Man's stunts. Doesn't make any fucking sense, but you know
Take
what?
that ankle roll, you buffoon.
I was like, Bonesaw is ready. You can't tell if it's Macho Man or Harley Race there. You know, it's just this.
I will say, like with this, I thought like once we got it down to the top 5, to me, like you could number this in any way, and I personally wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
Because even though we missed a lot of like really big names that would be on a lot of people's quote unquote Mount Rushmore or whatever, I think this is still a really fucking solid list.
Well, also we have an additional head on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes, because we are better than Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
By one.
By one,
yes.
Oh, you go to Mount Rushmore and see it up close. It looks like shit.
Look. All I'm saying is
you see is the good angles on the postcards.
Look. All I'm saying, I never saw George Washington with the WWE title. I'm just saying.
Give him time.
Hey,
Lincoln used to have a title.
Lincoln possibly invented the choke slam. So that is the
Lincoln
thing.
on this list?
I'm
erasing Ethan's Triple H at 4, and
but
I'm putting Abraham Lincoln in there.
But Thomas Jefferson also didn't know how to do a sick elbow drop. So there's that.
How do you know that shit?
He couldn't sell. He couldn't sell at all.
Maybe he and fucking, Lincoln got together and did some shit.
Maybe it was a finger poke of doom situation.
You don't know much about history, dude.
I'm just saying, man, you never fucking know.
You do realize
I
they didn't
know
put
that-
them on Mount Rushmore because they were around the
I
same
know
time.
I know, but maybe it was passed down through the fucking ages, man. I know that there was a gap.
The reason that they didn't get that elbow drop was they were separated by some, 60, 70 years.
70 years, I know, but God damn it.
Yeah, we didn't know that Abraham Lincoln actually won the Civil War by choke slamming Robert E. Lee through a table.
The most electrified man in all of sports entertainment, Benjamin Franklin.
So
I like it.
From wrestlers to presidents to non-presidents, our top 5 list of
Presidents and non-presidents is all the people in the world.
He mentioned Ben
Every
Franklin.
single one of them.
You can either be in column A or column B.
You're just
There
fucking
ain't
hitting it
a
all,
Column
man.
C.
You're just fucking hitting it all tonight, Ethan.
The Travelers on the Omnibus top 5 wrestlers of all time. Number 5, Harley Race. Number 4, Macho Man Randy Savage. Number 3, Mick Foley. Number 2, The Undertaker. And number 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
What?
All but 2 of them were kings.
Stone Cold was the king of the ring.
King of the Ring. Macho Man was
Macho
the
Man
Macho King,
King.
and Harley
Yep.
Race was King Harley.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line
What?
because Stone Cold said so.
What?
I tell you what.
That's where you go out. Right there, Jay.
What?
Right after that.
All right.
Oh, we still got to do
That's
promo
it.
work,
Yeah.
guys.
That's the end of the chalkboard.
right.
Jason and Michael, tell us about your podcast, please.
If you enjoyed this discussion on wrestling, join us every week where Whiskey and Wrestling talks about what's going on in modern wrestling and how bad it currently is. You know what? Don't listen to that. Listen to us anyway, where we discuss what promotion blew up this week, who is paying who NDA money, why is you know what, Michael, you do this because I'm just getting depressed.
If you did enjoy this discussion on professional wrestling, come check out Whiskey and Wrestling. We release every Sunday where we enjoy a nice glass of whiskey. Well, sometimes maybe it's not so nice.
A glass.
What?
Come check us out where we talk about the happenings in wrestling for the week, and we get drunk and enjoy different libations because
Y'all don't get drunk. You do drink
you
responsibly.
got to drink in this modern wrestling landscape.
I
to
love
enjoy
y'all's
it.
podcast.
you are correct. We do drink responsibly. Come check us out.
You did drink the Rock's tequila one time. I don't feel that's responsible.
It was a very bad idea. It was a very
That
bad
bottle,
idea.
was on that episode.
that bottle is in my liquor cabinet, and it has not been opened since.
See, that is a bottle that you pour out and then you display. Hey, we got the Rock's tequila. What did it taste like? I don't know. Ask the sink.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a wedding coming up that I just gonna.
There you go.
Here's some stuff.
You are
Michael's
a
just
son
going to
of a
make
bitch.
trash liquor and
He's just gonna get a bucket and pour all the shit liquor that we've bought.
Thanks for the
That,
gifts, guys.
the
Here's some
Canadian
shitty alcohol.
Hunter,
Fucking
that
just do an
whiskey-
Everclear bathtub. Fuck it.
No,
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Rock's tequila. It's gonna be Canadian Hunter. It's gonna be that Scotch from last week. It's just all that in one.
Just throw
bucket
some
with
Gatorade in
solo
there, and it'll be
cups.
any drink you could have at a sci-fi convention.
I knew as soon as you downed that, like the vileness of it was like came through the fucking microphone.
Oh, Jesus.
Love y'all's podcast.
Come check out Whiskey and Wrestling. You can find us everywhere podcasts can be found.
I love y'all's podcast, by the way. It's 100% more whiskey drinking than this one and 100% less cursing.
Yeah, we are relatively family friendly, so there is that.
Man, we didn't even say fuck on this show today.
Oh, I did.
Oh, did
No,
we?
We've said
no,
it
I
several
said it,
days.
yeah.
I
Fuck
think it's
has
just
been
that we're
said
so
multiple
used to
fucking times.
cursing that we don't pay attention.
I'm
when
deaf
we
to
curse.
it,
It's
yeah.
one of the main reasons I enjoy coming on this show.
Hell yeah.
Get that shit out of you.
Jody, do us a favor. Tell us about Theology.
Fearology is a show that I upload irregularly at different intervals in time, and currently working.
More passion.
when the stars are just so aligned and the moon is in the right waning.
Cthulhu Fatagan, Cthulhu Fatagan.
When the great yellow throne is within.
where I make announcements of episodes that never come out.
When the eclipse hits.
When the fourth planet in the star Aldebaran shines upon dim Carcosa.
In fact, you should probably listen to last week's episode on Mandy. That from the Travelers on the Omnibus. That's probably a little bit better of an episode that's already out that you can listen to that's horror related. But I joke. I am putting out an episode soon. Fearology is the show where I talk about horror, my personal experiences of horror, and my takes on the whole genre as a whole in all mediums. And thank you.
Jay, tell us about Silence Your Cell Phones.
Silence your cell phones. Kevin Shelton, Jared Hubbard. Yay! Go through what you should be watching in the movie. There you go. Thank you for the claps. I appreciate
Always start
that.
with Kevin Shelton. That way you remember his name.
No, I that's how I always called him, Blake Shelton. Always started with that. But yeah, no. If you want to find out what you should be watching in the realm of movies and television, Silence Your Cell Phones is the place to go. Find them on all major podcast networks. Also find them on YouTube where they do their live show, which is uploaded sometime later. And yeah, if you love cinema, check out these cinephiles again. That is Kevin Sheldon and Jared Hubbard. Silence your cell phones. Talk about Edgerunners, motherfuckers. Talk about Edgerunners because we did, and so you should too. I'm just saying. I know you love it, Jarrett.
We mentioned that we watched it.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Aaron, you spoke of it earlier. Tell us what Paranormal Gumbo is, if you don't mind.
It's a podcast on all things paranormal. We are currently not doing new episodes right now, but we do have a library of older stuff that you can go listen to.
Yeah, he added an extra syllable. Just go.
Library.
Library.
Hey, I say strawberries, right?
Strawberry.
But hey, look, I don't know if you guys are paying any attention to UFOs or anything like that, but dude, some shit's fixing to come down the fucking pipe, man.
UFOs. I got a job and a car payment. Like, I'm not paying attention to nothing.
Look, like next year, people are talking about some shit that's going to be coming out, and like it's fucking happening, guys. Like, look some shit up, man. Educate yourself. Read a fucking book.
Okay. Real talk. I may edit this out, but I probably won't. We have recording equipment. Come in here. Like, one of us can sit with you and just you educate the masses.
Educate me.
And in fact, depending on who you talk to, they might actually do the work for you. So all you have to do is talk about it.
That's the format. One of us sits there and just silently records, and you tell Ethan all this shit, and we just watch him pee himself to death.
Dude, I'm not even shitting about it, man. Look some stuff up. Like, some
Gonna
shit.
pass on that.
Aliens.
Okay. I got shit to do that day. I don't know.
I haven't even fucking told you what day it is, Brady. And you're like, I already got shit to do.
Well, I was talking about the Ethan peeing himself to death thing. I don't need to be here for that.
What?
This is all being left in.
Big thank you to Greg here at McNarb Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi for allowing this shit to happen.
Puzzles and shit.
Giving us the ability to
We need to turn that into a stadium chant.
puzzles and shit, puzzles and shit, puzzles and shit, puzzles and shit.
Is some of the shit still 50% off, or has that changed?
No, there's still some good stuff on clearance. Not on clearance. Twilight Inscription. Do you like Twilight Imperium? Do you wish you could play it in less than 12 hours? Do you wish it was more like Yahtzee? Twilight Inscription. 2-hour Yahtzee, big chunky dice, 4 separate Yahtzee boards, and shit.
Hell yeah.
Again, big thanks to you, Greg Spanier. Thank you so much.
And you know what? Thank you to Big Dog Liquor, seeing as how the guys from Whiskey and Wrestling are here. Big Dog Liquor, they have sales. What's you can combo sales sometimes? Is that how it works?
Yeah, on Wednesdays, if you are military and old,
Yeah.
you can add those two discounts together. Senior. You're close, buddy. You're close.
Just go in there with a cane. They'll work. There you go. I bought the bottle of.
Just get Jody to run in there for you.
Joke's on you. I don't look 50.
Yeah, you fucking do.
I love you, buddy.
I don't think the microphone heard that. Can you repeat that for us?
Yes, you fucking do.
What?
My name is Ethan Skinner, y'all.
I'm James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody Kite.
I'm Aaron.
Michael.
And Jason.
Thank you for listening. Good night. Farewell. Peace be among you.
Get the fuck out!
He needs the early bird special.